Welcome back to my channel. Of course, the Super Bowl is right around the corner with the Eagles playing the Chiefs, and I've seen absolutely every single NFL commentator and program talk about why they think the Chiefs have a better team other than the quarterback. Mahomes is better, but his team's worse. Who's going to win? And while I could make a 20-minute long video talking about that, but I decided to do something different. So in today's video, I am doing a mascot death match. So essentially, on each team, if all of their players were the mascot from their college they graduated from, if they fought against each other, who would win? I have put a lot of thought into this. I think it will probably directly predict the outcome of this Super Bowl. And yeah, I would bet lots of money based off this analysis. So the Eagles, their offense, really strong because they have two Alabama players. That means the Eagles have two elephants. Those elephants are going to be very tough to beat out on the field. They also have two Lions from Penn State. They have a Rebel from Ole Miss. Now, I don't care what Ole Miss says a Rebel is a Confederate soldier. So that means that he has a gun. And a man with a gun, it's dangerous out there. There are two Sooners, and a Sooner apparently was someone who illegally moved to Oklahoma when they weren't allowed to. So it is a person. I'm not going to give him a gun. That feels outrageous. But they were kind of brave, kind of willing to risk it on the frontier. So that's an above average person. Then Jordan Mailata on the Eagles offense. Of course, he didn't go to college, so I'm just giving them a kangaroo. One Cornhusker, which is just a farmer, pretty low on the list. One Jackrabbit, very disappointing. And then a Cardinal from Louisville. I am a fan of the team, but as far as a mascot in a death match, a Cardinal is pretty low on the list. So that is the Eagles offense, and honestly, it's very strong, mainly because of those two elephants. Now, they will fight against the Kansas City Chiefs defense because, well, this is football. That's just how it's going to work. So the Chiefs defense, it's pretty weak. I'm going to be honest. I was expecting it to be better, but the Chiefs, they're just kind of falling apart this year, I think. So they have one Tiger, one Wolverine, and Wolverines are pretty small. I'm not giving them the X-Men's Wolverines because that's ridiculous. I'm giving them an actual Wolverine, just a little animal. I know they're feisty, but not giving them that much credit. A fighting Irishman. He looks pretty short. Not going to give him that much credit. A cougar. Cougars sound kind of scary, but they only weigh, 100, 150 pounds. I don't think they could do much to a lion on the other side of the field. There's a miner. The coal miner, I guess, essentially. Gold miner. I don't know. A bearcat. A bulldog. A boilermaker. A badger. A husky. And a tree. Okay, so these two are fighting each other. I think right off the bat, the Cardinal, the Jackrabbit, the tree, those are all dead. Like those don't impact at all. And maybe a tree gets lucky and falls on something, but I'm not going to give it that much credit. Then a Cornhusker, I think he could take on a husky. I think a farmer could take on a dog. So that's a win. A kangaroo, I think, could beat a badger. A Sooner, I would bet on a Sooner over a Boilermaker. And I would bet on a Sooner over a Bulldog as well. And a Bearcat. A Rebel, I mean, they have a gun, so I think they're going to beat the Miner. Lions, I think, will beat Irish or Cougar. And then, of course, Elephants will beat Tigers and Wolverines. This is almost a clean sweep for the Eagles offense over the Chiefs defense. This makes me think Eagles are going to put up a ton of points in this game. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 40 points because two elephants, two lions, Confederate soldier, like, that's going to be tough to beat on the deathmatch field. So now we have to check the Eagles defense versus the Chiefs offense, because if the Eagles win both, then of course they're going to win the game. If it's 1-1, then we have to go and do overtime. So, Chiefs offense, they have a rocket. A rocket is huge in this deathmatch. I'm going to assume it has a bomb on the rocket. It's not just like a space rocket. This is a weapon rocket. Best thing that there is in this matchup. Then they have a Red Raider, which is kind of like a cowboy, I think. Pretty high up there. A Trojan, an old school soldier. A Gator, a wolf pack. So not just one wolf, but multiple wolves. Pretty good. 2 Sooners, a Longhorn, a Bearcat, a Bronco, and a Volunteer. So a Volunteer is not going to get a lot of credit from me either. So this Chiefs offense is definitely weaker. Well, I don't know. It's arguable if it's weaker or not compared to the Eagles offense, because that rocket is huge. A rocket could probably kill an elephant. I think a rocket would beat elephants. On the Eagles defense, they also have a rocket. That saves the Eagles in this game. I was beginning to get a little worried, thinking maybe the Eagles weren't going to be able to pull this one off, but thankfully they have another rocket. I think the rockets will hit each other, they'll explode in midair, they will cancel out. Then a Seminole, which unfortunately is not as good as the Red Raider, because the Cowboys beat the Indians. That's just kind of what happened. So a Red Raider will beat a Seminole. Then next up on the Eagles is an Alligator. So Alligator versus another Alligator. I guess that's a tie. Next up, the Eagles have a mascot called Lightning, and I was getting kind of excited. I mean, if the Eagles have Lightning on their side, I don't know how they could lose. Then I looked into it, and it's a horse with wings named Lightning. It's not actual lightning. This is not going to help that much on the field. I mean, maybe it can fly around and dive bomb some things, but not nearly as helpful as actual lightning. The Eagles have 4 Bulldogs, a Badger, a Commodore, which is, I'm just going to say, is a rich man, and a Hawk. This Eagles defense is pretty weak. I don't think they're going to match up well at all. The Rockets even out. The Chiefs have better people. I mean, a Trojan is easily going to take out multiple Bulldogs in a death match. He has a sword. Or Red Raider, he has a gun. Once again, man with a gun, that wins. So that means the Chiefs are going to put up a lot of points. You know, there might be 70 points in this game based off my analysis here. So this comes to a death match in overtime. Eagles offense versus Chiefs offense. We know this is Super Bowl, so, you know, fancy rules. Every team gets a shot, whatever. But how's this going to look? Both offenses putting their best mascots out on the field. And so the Chiefs, of course, will use their rocket. And this rocket will do some heavy damage to the Eagles. I say the rocket takes out at least an elephant and a lion. And I'm just going to assume it's not a huge rocket. It's a moderately sized rocket, because I don't want to just say this wins it for him. But let's say it takes out an elephant and a lion. That leaves the Eagles with just one of each remaining. The Confederate soldier and the cowboy, it's a draw. You know, depending on the time frame from this Red Raider, but I'll call that a tie. And really, you look at the bottom of the offense, because in this death match, it's gonna come down to the wire. And unfortunately for the Eagles fans, I think the mixture of a Bronco and a Volunteer is going to beat out a Jackrabbit and a Cardinal on the Eagles offense. So that means, unfortunately, in my deathmatch predictions, I had to go with the Chiefs in an overtime, high-scoring thriller. Unfortunate. I don't know if I'll be able to recover from that, but that's just how it is. You know, I had to go unbiased in this. But in all reality, what is my actual prediction of the game? Well, I think it's going to be a real close game. I believe the Eagles are a better team, and I just don't think the Chiefs are that good. However, they have looked the best they have all season over the past month. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a good game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. Can the Eagles defense actually stop the Chiefs? I'm going to say yes. But to be honest, I have too much bias. So I can't make a good prediction. I can only hope. But my bias prediction is Eagles win 31-23. So anyways, thanks for watching. So comment down below, subscribe, and other stuff. Yeah, I'll see you.